Welcome to Convergence Healing with Peter Bedard, where we empower you to heal your pain on every level of your being, body, mind, spirit. Our show is about sharing solutions for creating the life you want. We invite you to stand up and choose a life of health, happiness, and joy. And we're here to show you how. This is Convergence Healing.
Hey everybody, welcome. I'm excited to share with you another incredible guest on our Convergence Healing with Peter Bedard podcast. If you'd like to send us any messages as we go through the podcast, please do. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just do @Convergence Healing or Peter Bedard or #Convergence Healing, and we'll see your comments. So today I have the awesome Daniel with us, and right. And I like to start out our episodes now with a quote from my book or from anybody else, but this is a quote that spoke to me when I was thinking of bringing Daniel in for the podcast. So this is a quote from my book right here, Convergence Healing, Healing Pain with Energetic Love. And I said, all I had to do was put one foot in front of the other and carry myself away from the pain and toward love. That, to me, was sort of the essence of my healing. You know, I had all these things wrong with me for decades. I suffered from all kinds of chronic pain and different issues. And when I started looking at myself from a perspective, sort of a chunked up perspective, you know, that perspective, a higher kind of perspective, it was like, okay, walk away from this and walk towards that. Walk away from the pain, walk towards the love, the happiness, the joy. And this gentleman right here, I see him doing it all the time. It's one of the things that really inspired me about him, in that he really does consciously look at life from a perspective, okay, am I creating pain or am I creating joy? Am I creating happiness? And he's a real creator. And so I wanted to bring him on to really talk about those things and how he does it in his personal life, and then how he does it with people in your community, right?
Yeah. Thank
so
you.
This is the awesome Daniel Pierson. Yeah.
Oh, so awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so
All
much.
right, Daniel, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. It was really, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to share what I love to do and really just talk about it a little more deeply rather than in a studio setting. It's a little different when you're in a studio, teaching yoga, meditation. But when you're able to sit down, relax, breathe is important. Breathing. We don't do a lot of that. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure. So Daniel, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I am a yoga meditation teacher. But I didn't start there. So before that, I had another life.
And it's a very interesting life. Very different. There's been an evolution.
There's been a big evolution. Before yoga and meditation, I was in retail for 11 years.
Tell them where you worked in retail.
I worked for Gucci, so I worked out here in LA. Worked for a luxury brand. It's where I wanted to be, where I thought I wanted to be, and that's where I ended up. But I just ended up going into yoga and meditation after sitting for a while with myself. What did I want to do in this life? Where was my path taking me? I think we all do that once in a while, and some of us either choose to start, some of us decide not to start. It's a conscious decision at the end of the day. So I chose yoga and meditation. Well, it kind of chose me, actually, because it saved me. Right. It saved me from where I was going.
Well, what was like before when you were in that experience of the retail world? What was your everyday? What was life like?
Yeah, it was fast-paced. It's retail. People come in, people go out. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right, but what was the experience? Because you're very different now
than what I was.
Right, and you told me a little bit about that before. We've talked about that, and you're a very different person in a way. Unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Right? You had very different values.
Yeah.
You had a very different focus. And so paint that picture for us. What was that like?
I was living in a world where it was about money. At the end of the day, I wanted to make money. I want to have beautiful things, and that's what I wanted to show to people. That was my worth. What I like to say is I made money to keep myself in debt. I had the bags. I had the shoes.
All right, wait a minute. That's good. I made money to keep myself in debt. I think that's the American way.
It is. And, it's taught to us, here and there, but that's how I lived my life. I ended up where I wanted to end up because that was the brand I loved. And I loved being a part of that world. It was fashion. It was fast paced. You got to meet all these people, celebrities, all that stuff. But I got lost in it. I got lost in it, and I got lost in the money aspect of it. And I stopped believing who I really was. And before I knew it, life was bad.
Right.
Life was really bad.
Yeah, and you were very unhappy.
Yeah, a little. I lived on the negative side, very depressed, things like that.
And why do you think that is? Is it because you determined your value in the world based on the physical,
on the material gain?
Okay.
Yeah. At that time, that's all it was about for me.
Right.
And I knew there was something more. And every year, there was something that was going on in me that would always remind me, there's something else. So there's something bigger that you're supposed to be doing. But a new bag came out and I got sucked back in. Something else came out and I got sucked back in.
Right. And so I don't want to demonize the world of beauty and luxury.
No.
And I don't want to do that. But what's important to me is noticing the focus and that you lost yourself in that experience. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the power of your story. It really is, where you kind of go, you know what? I had these things and I loved these things and they were wonderful and fun, but they were hollow.
Yeah.
There was an emptiness to them, right?
Yeah. I didn't find a balance. Right. And I always tell people where I am now, had I known what I know now and done what I did then, I'd have a balance in my life. But at that time, in that place, that was going to be non-existent to me.
Right.
So I'm thankful for where I am now. Yeah, it took a lot. Thankfully, I have a loving husband, who is allowing me to journey into my own life.
And you have beautiful things. I mean, that citrine on your neck is gorgeous.
Things come into your life and you don't know how. You just have to trust in it, believe that the world's going to provide for you in some way or another. And that's how I've lived my life. Like I said, it's a conscious decision for me, at least, to live my life. Every day that I wake up, how am I going to live today? Today I'm going to live in love. I'm going to live in light.
Right. So those who are listening, those are really good, profound questions to ask yourself, to actually say, how am I going to live my day? I'm really big on people consciously creating their lives, choosing what they want and then pursuing that and hopefully pursuing things that bring you joy, that bring other people joy. And so to wake up in the morning, what's your first thought when you ask yourself that question? Take us to a morning in Daniel's life. What is it like to wake up?
In my life.
Yeah.
First
seriously.
off, I always wake up, take a big stretch, take a big breath in through the nose, and then just exhale out the mouth.
Right.
And go, smile. It's a new day. And then I give myself pep talks. I may seem like a crazy person sometimes.
Not at all.
My dogs, my cats look at me.
The smartest people talk to themselves?
Yeah.
That's actually a study, a true understanding, is the smartest people talk to themselves. Now, they don't abuse themselves, and I think that's a big difference, because a lot of us chatter, we talk to ourselves, but we talk to ourselves about all the horrible things.
Because we like to live in what's comfortable.
Yes, I call it safe, comfortable, and familiar.
Yeah, and we try to hold on to it.
Oof.
So my first thing is, at the morning, talk about, today I'm going to love myself. Look at yourself and don't think about the negative. We always think about the negative first, right? Oh, my bag's under my eyes. Oh, today's going to be horrible. You want to think about, I have a beautiful smile. Yeah. There's a sparkle in my eye. Today I'm going to say thank you to someone. Today I'm going to say I love you. Today I'm going to say I forgive you. I'm sorry. So it's these constant things that just go through my head. Whatever's flowing is what comes out of my mouth. And if something negative comes into my brain, I have to stop and then I have to breathe and say, this is not mine.
Ah, that's so powerful.
And when you learn to know that those thoughts in your head are not yours, you can separate all that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I am not my thoughts.
Yeah.
Wow.
The mind lies.
The mind does all the time.
The mind lies, the body tells the truth.
Right. Then the mind is interested in that safe, comfortable, familiar.
And so it'll keep you there.
Exactly. And safe, comfortable, familiar might be abuse. Safe, comfortable, familiar might be violence. It's like the story I told in previous episode about the boy that jumped me, right? Who I asked, why are you tagging? And he wanted to attack me, right? He jumped at me. And when, all his brain was thinking of in that moment was pain. How he had to survive, how he had to defend himself, how, who is this white guy walking down the street telling him what to do, that type of thing, right? And I saw that. And the brain is invested in that experience. And I saw that if I don't buy into his experience of that he doesn't have to behave that way anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And so my brain is constantly looking for the negative. Mm-hmm. Constantly.
Like you said, we try to hold on to the negative because it's the comfortable spot. It's the safe spot. We know that feeling. It's easier to frown than smile. It really is. Mm-hmm. You know, so we try to keep it on and we try to hold on to it, but we can't. We got to let it go.
Right. So how'd you learn that? I mean, literally, what got you to get up in the morning and say, so, okay, I'm going to smile today. I'm going to love myself today.
Trial and error.
Kind. Yeah?
Trial and error. I mean, we've all heard it. 30 days to make a habit. Mm-hmm. You don't know it until you try it. So I said, okay, I'm going to look like a fool. Do it.
And you were willing to.
And I'm willing to. You have to put yourself in that, you know, think outside your box. We're so comfortable in our little box and we'll stay in it, you know, with the negative thoughts and all, but we got to think outside our box, smile,
right?
Laugh.
So you just gave us a bunch of lessons.
Yeah.
Right? You really did.
Yeah.
You gave us a lot of advice.
Oh.
How to get out of the bed in the morning, right? How do you get out of the bed in the morning?
You take a big breath,
right?
Take a big inhale, exhale.
And what's your first thought?
Something positive about yourself always.
And when you have a negative thought, what do you do?
Just tell yourself it's not yours. Let it go.
Right?
Yeah.
And how do you step out of bed?
How do you step out of bed? Smile.
Right.
Get up. Out. Stand proud.
And what do you say to yourself?
I'm beautiful.
Right
I'm
on.
strong.
Right.
I am love. I am light. Those are my two biggest things. Tell yourself every morning. I am love. I am light.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I wonder what the world would be like if more of us really took a moment just to say, I am love and I am light. Wow.
Yeah.
So think on that. We'll be right back. And we love you.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're interested, check out convergencehealingteas.com. You can try all of these yummy, delicious teas that are actually crafted in my home kitchen to help you feel better. We have a Sleep Well blend, a No More Anxiety blend, and all of those ingredients in there are designed to help you feel better through the traditional qualities that Mother Nature has to offer. Check it out. All right, welcome back to the Convergence Healing Podcast with me, Peter Bedard. I love saying my name.
We should.
I do. I know. I used to hang out there before.
Yeah.
Seriously, I think it's fun. I have a fun name.
You do.
I do.
You do. Peter Bedard.
Peter Bedard.
Yeah,
my real radio voice. Welcome back to Peter Bedard.
There you go.
I should be on Kiss FM or something.
You
right?
should.
Yeah,
Ryan Seacrest out of business.
Yeah. All right. So, something that came through on our little break where we were talking about strength and what does it actually mean to be strong. And I like to say, because most strength type of ideas culturally tend to fall on men, right?
They do.
That somehow women aren't strong, right? Which is a bunch of bullshit because I think women are
stronger.
far stronger.
Let's remember what they do with their body.
Yeah, and us men have the weakest little egos, man.
Yeah.
We have you say something to us like, what?
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. We're all bark.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just stupid. But, all right, so now we got that out of the way. To be strong is, in my experience, is a strong man is somebody who is responsive.
Yes.
A weak man is somebody who's reactive. A strong man takes in a situation, evaluates the situation, and then creates a response to a situation.
Exactly.
And is trained to, in those moments where you need immediacy, to respond with a kindness, with a love, because that takes far more strength, from my experience, than anger.
Yeah.
And a reactive person is, in the cultural stereotype, the guy that's offended because you called him a fag or, whatever it is. It's like, dude, calm down, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't, whatever.
It's tough. We're bombarded every day with things. Go outside, go on the freeway, the 101. You have all these billboards of what a guy should look like, what he should be like. It's tough, even for us men. And I know it's hard for people to hear that. Oh, you have it easy.
Right.
No. And even more so as a gay man.
Yeah. I think men are so confused.
Yeah.
Men, I've found in my practice, I have a niche. Most of my practice is female, but I do have a niche, little niche group of straight 25 to 35-year-old men. And they are so confused. They don't know how they don't know if they should open a door, if they shouldn't open a door. They don't know if they should step in and be assertive or if they should be sort of like, oh, what do you want? Like they are so confused right
I always
now.
say, just be yourself. And that's really great, because I actually teach yoga and meditation with a men's group only at a drug and rehabilitation facility. So, it's alcohol, drug rehab. And we sit down twice a week and we discuss yoga. We do meditation as well. And so we learn to be a man again. We try to take away from all that stuff we've already learned. It didn't work, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, if you're in an addiction program, whatever you're doing didn't work.
Didn't work. And so we're here learning new things. We're adding to our spiritual toolbox is what I like to call.
Beautiful.
So, they're learning how to breathe again. Breathing, is so important for them because anxiety takes over. But
and anxiety is reactive.
Yeah, exactly.
Anxiety isn't a thought about response. It is a reactive survival response.
Yeah,
and breath. What does breath do for you?
Breath, at least for me and how I teach it to them, it's learning to slow everything down.
Right.
Slowing down the mind fluctuations. We have a name for it in Sanskrit, chitta vritti. Sounds pretty.
Whoa, say
right?
Say that fast 3 times.
Vritti.
Chitta vritti?
Yeah,
Chitta
mind
vritti.
Fluctuations.
Chitta
Let's all
vritti.
speak Sanskrit. It makes it sound easier.
Yeah, it sounds good. Chitta vritti.
Yeah, so it's all these mind fluctuations. We're trying to relax. Breathing, the science behind it is it slows down the body.
Right.
It slows down the mind. It calms the nervous system down.
Right. Does it actually slow down the mind or does it bring you into more consciousness? Because I noticed that
good question.
when I breathe more clearly, my mind is more clear. My mind is more awake. And it's like my mind is more tuned and it could act and respond quicker. But it's not responding from a place of pain.
Exactly.
So I know that's semantics, but it's not like the brain is slowing down from, again, this is my personal experience. I'd love to hear yours. When I breathe more, it's not like my brain is slowing down. It's like my brain has the ability to work more efficiently.
Yeah. No, I completely see that as well. And for me, when I sit down and I breathe and meditate, the goal for my breathing, or pranayama as we call it, is to understand our life force. And with it, slowing down the mind to me means getting rid of the clutter in the head that doesn't serve a purpose. So here goes back to the beginning, the negative thoughts.
Right.
Trying to quiet them so the positive thoughts can come through. And that way I can see clearer and think better about what I'm going to do in my life or in my path. Like going back to what it is to be a man and to be strong, physical. Well, anybody can be strong, man or a woman, child or adult. For me, being strong comes from a different standpoint. It means, can I handle myself accordingly with respect to myself and to those around me, in honor and trust? So it brings me back to that whole idea of the spiritual warrior. Back then, men in tribes and whatnot were a little bit different,
Right.
And so that's what I'm trying to bring back through my yoga and meditation is this new idea, not even a new idea, but an old idea, an old concept of what it is to be a man with modern technology now.
So define that. What do you think it means to be a man here in this moment with modern technology?
I think being a man nowadays, it's whatever you want to be.
So it's your definition.
It's your definition, There's no fear about, am I too emotional? You can be an emotional man. We can cry, we can laugh, we can love. Men, we can say I love you to other men and not have it be sexual.
Right.
I think that's another big thing. One of the things that I've learned in this men's group at the rehab center is that we all hug each other. We all say I love you. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Right.
Because as we all know, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
We're only given today.
I like to say to men a very specific word because I don't think we hear it enough, and if ever. And I will say, and I'll just say it to you, I think you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Right. Now look at that response, right?
Yeah.
You guys see that? He was able to take that in. It was just a thank you, right? And it lifted your vibration, didn't it?
It did, and you feel it.
Exactly. But do men ever hear that they're beautiful?
No.
It's a problem. And for some reason, we've gender identified the word as beautiful as to only be female. And I think that's so wrong because life is beautiful. The world is beautiful. The human body is beautiful. Men are beautiful. Women are beautiful. And it's recognizing a truth within all of us. And so I've noticed that when I say this to most men, and I'll say, you are a very, very powerful exception. When I say to most men something like, "Hey, how are you, beautiful?" They'll be like, "What?" There's a lot of like,
does he mean me?
What, you talking to me?
Yeah.
You know, it even with gay men, I see it triggering their sort of homophobic responses or something. You talking to me? Blah, 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 blah. Or it's the other way around, where it's like, "Oh, thank you," you know, depending on how they identify on the gender spectrum. The more feminine men will love it, and the more masculine even masculine women, if you were to say that to them, it's almost like an affront. It's like an offense.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem, because we are all beautiful, and people have an idea of what beauty is and the programming of it. And, you know, you must be this or you must be that. You must have this particular skin color or shape or body size. And that's just messed up.
It is. And we come in with all that baggage.
Right.
And all these guys, when we're going into yoga, I said, you need to drop all that baggage.
Yeah.
And that's what, for me, asana practice, you know, the postures, the movements, it's a way to start to think about your body a little bit different, especially with men. You know, I'm not flexible. Well, it's not about flexibility.
Right.
It's about learning how to live in this, what I call this vehicle we were given.
I love that. And that's such a change for how most people perceive yoga.
Yeah.
Right? Because most people perceive yoga as, oh, I have to touch my toes. It's
No,
about
not at
how
all.
flexible are my muscles. And that's not what yoga
No,
really
at least
is
not
about.
for me, you know.
Right.
At least not for me.
I mean, it may be part of yoga, you know,
Yeah.
that ability to elongate
The
your muscles and
physicality.
the physicality of it, but that's not the core of even the word yoga.
No.
You know,
Yoga, unification, to yoke.
oneness. To yoke,
Yeah,
to be
to
yoked
bring together.
God,
Yeah. Together with what? It's up to you. It's up to you at the end of the day to decide what you're bringing into yourself.
Right.
So it's really beautiful. And to see men discover their bodies new,
Right.
like in a different way. Like,
And in authenticity,
Yeah.
instead of how they're supposed to feel in their skin,
Yeah.
but knowing your truth, of
Yeah.
how you are in your skin.
exactly.
You know, we're going to take a break in a minute, but I want you to give us an exercise. Give us like a breath type of exercise.
Yeah, perfect.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
like I said, breathing is life for me at least. Breathing, pranayama. Pranayama means life force. When you know how to control pranayama, your breath, you can control life. It's that easy. It's that easy. For me, easiest way is to always close your eyes.
All right. So
Close your
let's do it.
eyes, right? Yeah,
Those
close
you
your
watching,
eyes.
those you listening in, close your eyes.
That's all you got to do for a moment because we take out all that energy that's going around us right now, right?
Just a caveat
Yeah.
quickly, if you are driving or doing anything like
Do
that
not
while
close
listening.
your eyes. Please keep them open.
Yes,
Please keep
okay,
them
okay,
open.
good.
When you just
we
close.
have to make sure we say that.
Yes, of course. And you just close your eyes. Now let's take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale it out the mouth. Take another big breath in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. So we're using the exhale to release. Another big breath in. Exhale out the mouth. This time we keep the mouth closed. And now we're going to keep our breath flowing in the nose and out the nose. So this is going to provide a little warmth to the body. That's safe, feeling. This is starting to get reacquainted with your breath one more time. So as you inhale, allow yourself to sit up nice and tall, shoulders relax, back and down. And as you exhale, we keep the length in the spine, but we release the tension into the ground. So you allow yourself to breathe in, breathe out, just for a few moments. Learn what it is to breathe with awareness, with consciousness. We don't allow ourselves that a lot. We let our breath take over our body, but we're in control. So let us control the breath. And then once we get to know it, we can take it a little deeper. We add a count to the breath, in and out.
Right.
That's all it is.
That's
and then you
awesome.
just come back, open the eyes. 2 minutes have passed. You're ready to go.
That's really, really great. And I'm always big about giving you guys practical things you could do right now to create a better life for yourself. So, Daniel, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
One of the things I noticed is there's a difference between control and governance. And when we move into an area of breath and awareness, you could be in a high energy experience.
Yeah.
and still have a calm mind and still have that breath like flowing through you. Because people get that idea, I think it's a misnomer, that the only way to be calm or focused or present is to, I have to go to a Zen type of thing.
No.
And have you ever heard of the running monks?
No, I haven't.
So there's this group of monks, I think they're in Japan, and they, instead of getting up at 3 a.m. and meditating for several hours, they get up early in the morning and they run.
Yeah.
And it's an active physical, their breath is elevated, right? And they're in great energy and movement, but the mind is becoming calm in that process.
Whatever you can focus your energy on, that is meditation.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So thank you, guys. We're going to go for a quick little break. Stay tuned, and we will be right back. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're interested, check out convergencehealingteas.com. You can try all of these yummy, delicious teas that are actually crafted in my home kitchen to help you feel better. We have a Sleep Well blend, a No More Anxiety blend, and all of those ingredients in there are designed to help you feel better through the traditional qualities that Mother Nature has to offer. Check it out. All right, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us after the break. We appreciate that, and we appreciate you. So if you want to connect with us, please find us on any of our social media platforms. You can find us directly on Reverie TV and give us comments directly on the Reverie TV channel. You can also send us any kind of information, questions, thoughts, opinions, judgments, any of that type of stuff. We are open to it. You could find us on Facebook at Convergence Healing. You can find us on Twitter at Peter Bedard, and you can find us on Instagram at Convergence Healing. We're right there, easy to find. So let us know what you think. And if you have an idea for a show or a topic for a show, just let us know your thoughts. All right. And we're sitting with the amazing Daniel Pierson. Daniel is somebody that I've admired for some time. He's a breath teacher, a yoga teacher, and he has a great life story. He really transformed himself from someone who was just catching up with debt all the time and living in kind of more of the materialistic side of life, right? Who has really brought out his soul to the world, who's brought out his energy and his life and his love and is living in this beautiful, beautiful manner, helping other men mostly actually reclaim themselves and find themselves out of addiction and through recovery. Yeah. So Daniel, we were talking that you were going to give us some real easy ways that people could sort of recenter themselves, either starting first thing in the morning or in the afternoon or at night before they go to bed. What's the yogic approach to sort of finding or claiming your center again?
Like I said, going to the breath. So always start with your breath. No matter what, take a few moments to breathe consciously, breathe with awareness. That's going to slow everything down. That is yoga. That is one limb of yoga. There's 8 limbs. And, pranayama is one of them. Asana practice, which is mostly what we go to studios and learn, is the next.
Asana is the physical
Asana is the
posturing,
the poses and whatnot. And those bring a balance because we have to think about our body now as we breathe, as we think, and as we try to focus and live. We got to still live at the end of the day, right? So, there's a few ways you can still do that throughout your day. In the morning, obviously, when you start off we all have a natural stretch. Most of us reach up nice and high from head to toe, take a nice big stretch. That itself.
I'll do that now.
It's good to get up, even stay in your chair. So many people think you have to do yoga standing up.
Or that there's a particular way to do yoga.
Yeah, no, yoga, you can do it on a chair. I have clients who don't have the mobility. So we use the chair yoga. It's neat. It's awesome. You can do everything still there. But stretching up opens up the side body, relieves the shoulders. But what I like to think of it, I'm reaching up to the heaven.
Right.
I'm calling down on me what I want to have in my life,
Summoning. So there's a emotional, mental process to your stretch.
To behind it. Don't just, for me, it's never just to stretch.
Right.
Do everything with an intention.
Grab onto the life. Yeah. Grab onto the balls.
Right. Yeah. Grab with intention.
Sorry, lesbian.
Intention, awareness. Or
you don't do like that. Not too hard.
And that'll get your day started, hopefully. Look, we're already laughing. And that's what we want to do, right?
Right.
Laughing is good for us.
Absolutely.
So then you move through your day, things happen, you spill your coffee, someone cuts you off on the freeway. Okay.
Right.
You let it go.
Yeah.
So here you are, lunchtime. what are we going to do? You know, you sit there like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can take a smoke break, do whatever you want. It's free will. I like to tell people, take a moment and stretch again. Take a moment to breathe again.
Yeah. Especially for the smokers out there, there's a lot of studies that have been done that what you're actually getting on that smoke break is increased oxygen. And if you ever notice that when people take their first breath, their first inhale, they always do it like this. Right?
Yeah.
So they're breathing in all the toxins, right? Their first puff of that cigarette is almost always a deep inhale. And what they're actually doing is they're trying to get more oxygen to their body.
Into their body.
Right. You know, they're poisoning it with a cigarette. So one of the ways, if you're a smoker and you would like to actually cut down on your smoking, take that deep breath first.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and have the cigarette.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you can teach them this. Most people, inversions. I know most people are like headstands, handstands, crazy talk. Well, guess what? An inversion can be easier than that. Inversion nearly means your heart is over your head.
I want to see this. I have no idea.
So you can do this in your chair. All you have to do is come to the edge of your chair, you know?
Okay.
Just like if you're going to sit at the edge, you're sitting tall, but start to lean forward.
Oh, so just like leaning down on
and let your
legs?
head hang heavy.
Got
so you
it.
just want to let your head
Just drop
hang
down.
below. Yeah. You know, all the way forward. So you're coming into like an assisted forward fold.
Sure.
Is what we call it.
So basically your torso is on
towards
your
towards your
legs.
knees and thighs.
Okay.
And then just
Yeah,
let
all
your...
right. All right, wait. Okay.
You're going to try it out?
Yeah.
Okay,
Guys,
okay.
If for those watching, for those who are watching or not, for those who are listening, I am sitting on the edge of my chair,
Yeah.
and I'm dropping my head, so
Between
my
your
voice might
legs.
go between my legs, which actually sounds. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right.
So just let your head hang heavy. You know, release the neck muscles. Top of the head is reaching towards the floor. This is going to cause blood to flow to your brain. You need that rich oxygen, especially throughout your whole day. You know, you've already worked so much in your head. So let's bring new life and then just roll back up nice and slow. So you'll get this buzzed feeling is what I call
Oh,
it.
that's so nice.
Right?
Yeah.
It's better than drugs.
And that right? And that's a lot like that's considered a handstand, like an inversion.
It's an inversion.
It's an inversion.
It's an
all right.
inversion. Anything that gets your
I can
heart
do
over
that.
your head is an inversion. So
I
no
could
need
absolutely
to
do that.
You know, get on your hands, throw your feet up,
Right.
do all that crazy stuff.
Right. I mean, if
It's
you want to
fun.
get on your hands and throw your
By
feet
all
up,
means,
that
do
could be
it.
fun, right?
Yeah, do whatever you like. It's your life. So you know that gets the
right.
blood going back into
And
your
that's
brain.
easy to do. That you just push your chair back from your desk.
Yeah.
You just let your hands come down to the floor. Go along your legs. Put your torso down onto your
to your knees and thighs, and
knees
just
and thighs,
let your
drop
head. Hang
I notice
heavy.
that's a lot. People will let themselves drop down. They'll let themselves hang down, but their head will be pulling
because we
back
still
up.
want to be in control.
Right.
We gotta let go.
And so it's
Let
about
go.
letting the top of the head go to the floor.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It's
you're just
not the
letting it
eyes and
reach.
the knee
No,
and
just the top of the
chin,
head.
top
Yeah.
of the head. All right.
That'll release all the little lower back, muscles right there in the neck.
Yeah, it's awesome. Opens up the whole spine.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. That's what yoga's all about, opening the spine.
Right. I heard a saying though, once the healthy spine is a long life, or a healthy spine is a smart brain. There's some
Something
yoga.
like that. I
some
forget what it
yoga
is. Healthy
quote.
spine, happy life.
Something like
like-
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the more flexible the spine, the longer the life. I think
I
it
like
was
that.
something like that. That when the spine is open and flexible, and seems to make sense because there's more blood flow, there's more openness, there's less tension, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I love that little quote. So what's our third stretch? What else can we do?
So nighttime, you want to not be so active. You want to bring everything down. You want to become a little introverted almost. You want to go into yourself. My favorite thing to always do is what I call my introverted pose or asana is come into like a butterfly pose. We all know butterfly to open up the hips and whatnot.
Show us
Knees.
what's
I know
butterfly.
it's a little hard to do it on the chair, but
That's okay.
you just all you want to do is bring the feet together.
Oh, so
Let the
then-
knees fall apart.
Okay, so the soles of the feet come together.
Soles of the
and
feet come together, the knees fall
knees
apart.
go wide.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can still do that seated in a chair.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're still getting a hip opener, but once again, just like you normally would, come down.
So
Let
it's
the top of the head hang
just
heavy.
like the other one, but it's
Yeah.
opening up through the hips and the
Opening
knees.
up through the hips and the knees, just to release any pain, tension that we
Great.
hold in that area.
All right.
One of my teachers told me we hold all our pain in our butt,
Right.
in our butt and hips,
So
lower back.
it opens up that whole
Energetically,
lower
even
back
speaking,
and
yeah.
the hip area, all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So what it looks like for those listening in is the The feet,
we
the
can do
soles of the feet are
soles of the
actually
feet. If our hands were our
pressing
feet,
in.
yeah, the soles of the feet are together. The knees are falling naturally apart from one
Okay.
another.
And then the knees just sort of open out.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost like sitting cross-legged in a way. The knees kind of fall open.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then just a drop down into
Just
that
a drop
too.
down once again.
Letting the head go to the
head
floor.
heavy.
Right.
This is the moment to go inside. Look at what went on your
Now,
day.
do you incorporate the breath into that too?
I always do. Whenever
Okay.
you sit up, take a nice big breath in. Whenever you
But
lean
how about
forward,
on the down, in that
Yeah.
where I'm just laying on
yeah,
top
when you're
of my
down there,
legs?
just breathe in and out naturally. Still through the nose, out the nose. That's what keeps everything centered.
So through the nose, out the nose.
Out the nose, yeah. Try to always keep the mouth closed. Because when we let the mouth open, as we know in gym exercises, you need the cooling breath. And so you breathe through the mouth. But in yoga, we want to keep ourselves centered. So we close the mouth, keeps the nervous system back down.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So as you come down, breathe naturally in and out the nose. And slowly come back up and go to bed. And go to bed.
I like that. Go knock out.
Go ahead and knock
Get
out.
some sleep.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Daniel, how can we find you? How can people find you in the world?
My website.
Okay.
I say go to my website. It's Pratyahara, which is
Oh, you're going to have to spell
I
it.
know,
Yeah.
Sanskrit.
Pratyahara. Okay.
P-R-A-T-Y-A. Pratya, H-A-R-A, Hara, yoga.
Spell that one more
.com.
time
Yeah.
straight through.
Pratyahara, Pratyahara, yoga.com.
That's awesome. And what does Pratyahara mean?
Pratya means the ability to withdraw from the world and the senses and find oneself. It's the ultimate goal that I like to go through my practice.
Right. And, Daniel, I am a testament to your doing that.
Oh,
Yeah,
how so?
that's a really major thing. Well, you're a person that I think really has found himself in the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you walk your talk,
Indeed,
and
I
you
try.
live your talk, and it is a really beautiful, amazing thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on my show.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor and privilege.
So thank you so much. Tune in regularly to Reverie TV, where you can find all of our episodes. If you're on any of the other platforms, you can find us scattered throughout Chromecast and on Roku and all different kind of things that are just expanding. Definitely on iCloud and iTunes. We'd love to hear from you. You can connect with us on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram at Convergence Healing, or you could just simply type my name in and do a Google search for Peter Bedard. We want to hear from you. If you have any questions, you have any thoughts, any opinions or judgments, let us know what you're thinking. Let us know any suggestions you have for shows and what you are looking for in the world. We're here to help. Take care of yourself, be awesome, and stay tuned for our next episode. Live life fully. Bye.